Welcome back to Discovering Discovery, a podcast in which we, some casual Trekkie fans, talk about Star Trek
and
Discovery.
one really big Star Trek fan.
Who the fuck was that?
This is the voice of God.
God? God's a woman.
God is a woman.
Where we discuss Star Trek
Is there a God?
Discovery.
Oh my!
God
we
doesn't
must
need a
be
Star
in the
Trek.
mirror. We
God
must be in the
doesn't need a
mirror
Star Trek.
universe
Yep.
because God's a woman.
Yep. oh.
It fell
So,
apart
in
so
case
quick.
you weren't aware, we are discussing the mid-season premiere in which we learn that we are in the Mirror Universe. This is the episode directed by Jonathan Frakes, who we also know as number one, second in command of Star Trek Next Generation, next to Picard of the Enterprise. I am joined.
I zoned out for a second and I missed all of what you said, but my name is Megan Washington.
and
John Quick.
this is Greg Payton.
And yeah, we had high hopes for this. I don't think it lived up to it almost at all. Like, this was actually a short
This episode is
for
called
us.
Despite Yourself, by the way.
Yeah. The episode is called Despite Yourself?
Yeah.
It looked good.
Yeah.
Jonathan Frakes gave me a lot of hope.
It looked good. He brings his A game.
I think this episode broke you, Megan, from what I can remember. You just gave up.
Look, I don't remember a lot of the episode.
We had to shovel
feel like I
shovel
shut
Megan
down.
out of here. Like that's how bad it was. It was pretty bad.
And as always, spoiler warnings are in effect. If you have not seen this episode and you do not want to be spoiled, please stop listening now. Did we give you long enough? Are you gone? Get the fuck out of here, kid. No one wants you around.
Don't make them leave.
Well, it's only if they haven't listened, if they haven't seen the episode yet.
I'm just saying.
Go ahead and go enjoy it. Go ahead and press warp 9.
And then Warp 9.
Yeah, maybe Warp 5.
Warp 9.
Like Warp 3, just like casually stroll through the universe.
Warp 9. Punch it. Welcome back to Discovering Discovery. We just came back to watch the new episode after the mid-season finale.
Yep,
and
for better or for worse, we are here.
Hi everybody.
And this is, of course, is John along with Miss Megan.
Yep.
And Mr. Greg.
Copy.
And we just went straight Mirror Universe.
Well, wait, can we pause for a second?
Okay.
And just do like a mini flashback?
Do you want to do a mini flashback?
Oh, good luck with that.
Flashback too.
To be fair, we did watch last episode while slightly intoxicated. But
Yes.
I just want to say, the recap that they do and my memories of the episode, very different.
Well, they didn't really recap last episode. They recapped a lot of things from last season. They were showing some things from the pilot, and they completely forgot about the part where I think they ended the Klingon Federation War, which even
Question mark?
they
We're not sure.
I think they did, because even they at a certain point were just like, yeah, we're tired of this.
I think they had some of the blood wine that we had, and they were just like, just fucking skip it.
They're like, whatever.
Yes, so
I might have missed that part of the episode.
The blood wine was kicking in pretty hard. At
Were
that
you
point,
that?
actually.
I know you hated the mead. Were you that drunk?
I'm a lightweight, John Quick.
Okay,
I know you forget. I had to finish hers actually.
Yeah. Well, you just downed a cider, so that doesn't like.
Yeah, but this is
spell-
like 5% alcohol.
That just softens you up.
Yeah.
That's all that does.
The blood wine was like 19.6%.
Excuses is all
Yeah.
I'm hearing. Which, speaking of excuses, we got a lot of excuses from not Captain Worthless. I'm sorry, Lieutenant Worthless. Is that his official title? Is that what Tyler's title is?
Yeah.
Lieutenant
I was
Worthless?
The man with no jawline.
Eustace's
Yeah.
boyfriend.
Yeah.
You be number one.
Oh
Yeah.
God, yeah. But let's just
First of all,
uh-huh.
the crew complement of the Discovery turns out is only 10 people.
Just about, yeah.
That's it. That's all they get.
Yeah, but let's just go into it. Like,
And a whole bunch of extras who we saw in this episode picking up, like prop shit and like fake badges and whatnot.
but let's just talk about the intro of this episode. So we have final confirmation. We're now in the Mirror Universe.
Welcome,
Correct.
welcome.
We did not skip through time. Nope. We are officially in the bad place, I guess.
The Star Trek's version of the Upside Down.
Yeah. All hail the Terran Empire.
All hell the Terran Empire.
Which,
As if they didn't have enough bad ideas for this show.
well, I mean, they had to do something. They were just like, I guess they had just to do a fuck it. And they brought in Jonathan Frakes to direct it.
Motherfucking number one.
Which, honestly, you can't really tell.
Commander,
which
Lieutenant,
brings up so many
Captain,
more questions about
Riker.
the series and the show.
First of all, his directing, I will say, was good. It was legit. Despite whatever problems we may have with it, the directing was spot on to at least what I'm used to seeing from him. And the different iterations and shows and movies he's done. So,
Megan, your disagreeing rebuttal?
I mean, I feel like whatever's going on with the producers or whatever on this show, there's not a lot of flavor brought in by the individual directors. Like, there's a lot of really weird camera shots, which were indicative to the show, which I've never seen them use in anything. Like, they had there's this weird, like, 360 shot, which went on for, like, 2 minutes around the map.
Well, when you have a budget and you can motion track, motion track that shit. Ain't that right, Greg?
oh yeah, no, you will use it. You will use it. Whereas, back in the days where these things all had to be relegated to a screen and two-dimensional, and you were more or less, looking at the
people are more
Federation
creative when they
backs.
have less to work with.
This is true. You definitely work by necessity. But, it's proven that when you have the money and the production value is there, we're going to spend it.
Right. So, okay, let's start from the top. So we start this episode in the Mirror Universe. There is a ship being piloted by Vulcans and Andorians.
That is, Vulcans. But they found in the wreckage of the Klingon ship Vulcans and Andorians.
Right. So...
Oh, yeah, by the way, they're surrounded by the wreckage of a bunch of Klingon ships that apparently are part of an rebellion against all of the Terrans.
Because in this universe, the Terran Empire are basically despots, racists, xenophobes.
Yeah, 'cause it's
basically
only
space
humans,
Nazis.
Which that was not the case in previous Mirror Universes.
No, that is not. But I'll say this: they seem to be keeping continuity pretty well with freaking Enterprise. Of all the goddamn properties, that's the one that's just like, yeah, man, we really need to stick to this.
Like the Mirror Universe, it was never just humans though before.
No, that is 100% true. Like we saw, all right,
Like Spock was in the Mirror Universe,
and he served on that Mirror Universe's Enterprise.
Yeah, so that's a new thing. So they're like, you know what, guys? Let's just be super fucking racist because we can.
I mean, it seems like that's the way. And then as we find out, I think it was the USS Defiant, a Constitution class, not the Defiant that we know of from DS9.
Yeah.
Was there a Defiant in the original series?
I believe... What ship did Sulu pilot? What was he the captain of? He had...
You're asking the wrong. If anybody would know this answer, it's you. I swear to God. Are you okay? You're looking it up.
There's a lot of cold medicine involved today. Hang
Okay.
on.
But yeah, so there's the Constitution class USS Defiant. That was featured in the multi-part episode in Enterprise that Captain Archer and his crew managed to commandeer. And then,
he had the Excelsior. My bad.
Okay. And then Hoshi Sato proceeded to use to make herself the new Empress of the Terran Empire.
Correct.
Yeah. And so that all keeps well. And then they have Phlox's agony boxes.
Right, because...
That rhymed. I took too much pleasure at that.
Okay, so they send out Captain PTSD because there's only 10 members on the...
Also
there's
known
only
as
10
Tyler,
crew members.
by the way, in case audiences don't realize who she's referring to, it's Tyler.
Listen, all you need to know is that like they have not developed any other
No, there's only 10
cast
crew
member.
members
Yeah.
on this ship.
that have to do literally fucking everything.
So naturally, you send the security officer out in the Honeybee, I think they called it.
That
to
is, yeah.
retrieve the data core from this Klingon ship. And while he's out there, he's got some sort of weird flashy things that happens. Like he's flashing back to his torture. He's
what we think is his torture.
No, it's as it turns out, that's most likely his surgery. I think it's pretty much confirmed Tyler is in fact Vok. He's a Klingon.
Now who was Vok?
Vok, if you don't remember from the first about
4 episodes?
Yeah, 3 to 4 episodes, he was the albino Klingon that threw his support behind T'Kuvma and ended up lighting the light of Kahless, and then was betrayed by Cole, who took over the coffin ship and then tried to maroon him on the Shenzhou, and then his Klingon lady friend proceeded to beam over and let him know that like her screwing him over was actually just a ploy, and she was going to help him get revenge, but it was going to cost him everything or something like that. And then now we find out what it actually cost him. He became a kind of neckbeardly, chinless, scrawny dude who is now the love interest.
Who's a human?
Yeah, who is a human? Who is now the love interest of Michael Burnham,
as well as Klingon lady.
Apparently. There's that whole scene with it. Yeah, yet again, like, why is, like, nobody in the brig, or there's no real security measures?
There's no security in the brig. There's no nurses in the hospital.
I mean, I can understand that, like, he's the head of security, so maybe, like, he can kind of go in and out of there at will, but also by the same token, like, there's got to be some other officers or some kind of, like, computer protocol that's just, like...
Yeah, but you forget there's only 10 crew members on the Discovery.
Pretty much close to it.
I guess they never explained how it was a skeleton crew.
Right?
Except for it's not a skeleton crew. We know there are more people. We freaking see them.
Do we know?
Yes, we do. There's more people on the bridge crew. Do we forget Mohawk Dreads girl?
Yeah, but she obviously doesn't actually have a job.
I guess not really.
She's just there for background flavor.
Well, she's got her dreads all up in a mohawk.
I don't think she's even had a line yet.
No, she had a line.
Did she?
This episode, yeah, she had a line.
And then
who didn't have a line was that synthoid android person. They had no lines.
They had to get him off the bridge because, only humans.
Yeah, they had no lines, as well as Doug Jones. He had lines, but more lines of just this is a bad idea. This is a bad idea. Holy shit, this is a bad idea. I'm leaving.
And then we had Captain Killy.
Right, Captain Killy.
Captain motherfucking Killy.
Worst idea ever, but sure.
I do appreciate them giving the opportunity for the actress to play. It's like, oh shit, playing against character, fucking do it.
The convenientness of the fact that the one ship that they captured just happened to have the entire crew complement of the Discovery.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Hashtag you're welcome. Had all of the information about the crew. Not only the crew, it also had clear documentation of uniforms, of what the ship looked like.
Because that's what you need.
Had all the information they needed to refit the Discovery super quick to create new uniforms really quick.
They pulled an A-team. What's wrong with pulling an A-team? You don't like an A-team? What do you have against A-team? Why are you against A-team?
If we were watching the A-team, then maybe.
But they do all that really fast because Lorca is right. Their survival does depend on them blending in, although Lorca keeps going back and forth with me as like, am I supposed to like this asshole? Am I not supposed to? Is he an antagonist or is he
I don't think they know, and I think that's why we're having so much trouble figuring out if we're supposed to like him.
Yeah, because Stamets currently has character development blindness.
Right, except for when he doesn't, and then he has like random prolific insights into the future.
Yeah, he goes full on prophet mode.
Yep.
And he can apparently see... He screams out something about don't go into the palace, which means that at some point they're going to go to Earth, I'm betting, and go to the Imperial Palace or something. I'm willing to bet that's...
He also says the danger's on the ship, and then
the enemy's here. Which is no doubt referring to Tyler Vok.
Right. Captain Shinless.
Yeah.
who then murders the only nice guy in the Discovery.
Yeah, straight up murders the
Jesus
doctor.
Christ.
Because he was like, hey, doctor, I
Oh,
just want to make
man.
sure there's nothing wrong with me, even though I
No.
know that there's something obviously wrong with me.
No.
Doctor's like, hey, guess what? There's something actually wrong with you. He's like, oh, okay, let me kill you really quick so you can't tell anybody.
Dude, there were 2 deaths that happened on this show this season that just happened in such a fucking meaningless way. One was when the first head of security got tossed around like a rag doll by the sea cow.
See, you're
And
forgetting.
then the
most
second
poignant
the
death.
second was this doctor having his
No, you
neck
forgot death
snapped
number
like a
one.
damn hot link. It's
forgot death
horrible.
number 1.
What's death number 1?
Death number 1 was the one guy who should actually be in a Star Trek show.
Are you
Who got
are you
blown
talking
out
about
into
Rose?
space.
But see, his death was epic. He was just like, oh shit, blown out into the vacuum of space. Like his shit was dramatic.
Well, you gotta
Yeah.
you gotta give him some credit though for that, because they were just like, hey guys, we're just gonna murder Gene Roddenberry in any way, shape, or form, and so they had the guy be Gene
It
and
was
then
pretty
get
dramatic.
murdered.
It was very dramatic. Like, oh shit, okay. No, but damn, man,
So, I mean,
I like this doctor.
Basically,
Fuck.
what happens on this episode is they go to the mirror universe, they go incognito, and then they take over her original ship,
Yeah, the Shenzhou.
the Shinjo, and that's basically all that happens in this episode.
In a very twisted turn of fate, Burnham finally gets to become the captain of the ship she's always wanted
and then
to
my
be.
favorite part is while the actual captain was off in like the pain room getting tortured because he was a rebel, and she quote had to chase him down, and that's why everybody thought she was dead in the mirror universe. So they throw him off in the brig. He's busy getting tortured, and she's like, you know what I'm gonna do? Instead of searching for information like I came here to do, I'm just gonna bang my boyfriend.
Yeah, like she's just like, I couldn't look up any of the information. Everybody's following me around. You're in your private quarters. You're telling me you don't have a terminal?
Right?
Now, have they proven that the captains can do that in this era yet? They have.
Look.
Have they?
This is like
But have we seen Lorca do it though?
everybody has done it, and like every start like
But has Lorca done
Well,
it?
okay. Anywhere you go, why would you, as the captain, not want to have access to the terminal
right.
in your own
The
private
captain has
quarters?
a ready room. She couldn't go into her ready room and do it. Like
Or just anything. Like, she's the goddamn captain. Like, it's not like she's some random, like, crew member and she's got to hide some shit. No, she's the captain. She literally murders a dude in front of everybody to prove it.
No, that interest that interest was
No,
great.
it's-
I mean, because here's the cool thing. I mean, she has to murder this guy and see him die for a second time as a result of her actions. Has to watch a guy die for a second time. Watch him collapse, which is the biggest intro. It was like, welcome back. I'm back, bitches. And she's welcome back with applause, and then has to immediately just get back into character and say, all right, well, get his ass off the bridge and get my seat.
which was a great, it was a nice little scene. But
Yeah, I thought that
I'll
was
give
cool.
him that.
I thought that
but
was legit. I was like, oh, shit, okay.
the convenient. Oh, I couldn't find any information because people were watching me. It's like, really?
Well, no, that was just
Like, Lorca-
unfortunately running out of time.
Or
Pardon the worrying.
Hold on
The
one
worry.
Or-
Hold it.
or instead of being a lack of time, it was just terrible writing, because they've shown Lorca in his ready room many times. Okay.
Doing shit, yeah.
They've
Yeah.
shown everybody in their rooms using a terminal before.
Showing off shit, yeah.
She's literally the captain.
3D tracking model shit.
They've
going on.
established that you can just straight up murder people for no reason. Like, tell
It's-
me again why
I
she
mean,
can't
it's-
get the information
it's
she needs.
It's actually almost Klingon how they go about that shit. It's almost Klingon how they go about. Oh, you got a problem with me? Fuck you! I'll kill you. It's almost Klingon.
It's just worthless, and the fact that they're just like off hooking up while Lorca's being completely tortured.
Well, I'm kind of okay with that. Like, I don't really give a shit that what's happening to Lorca. I do have major
The fact
problems
that- with the no, so here's what I have a problem with. I have a problem with the fact that, like, one, everybody's supposed to know this guy, and nobody cares that he's freaking the fuck out all the time.
Yeah, that's
He's obviously
100%
not
true.
okay. He's got shifty eyeballs. He's sweating profusely.
Yeah, no one seems to notice and or care.
Exactly.
I mean, like, I kind of understand, like, Michael Burnham kind of.
She should be the first one to notice. She's with him all the time.
Well, she notices, but I get, like, why she's kind of ignoring it because she.
No, she shouldn't. She's supposed to be super logical
Well,
because she's a hashtag Vulcan.
Well, yeah, except for she's not really a Vulcan and she just experienced sex for the first time. And let me tell you, that trumps a lot of stuff in your thought process.
Did she?
Yes, they
Shit.
banged. They
Do
banged
we know
last
that
ti-
she wasn't hooking up on Vulcan?
As far as we know, unless
Huh.
she got Ponfar'd, but she's not.
It's like every 7 years, man. It's a very serious
Except for she
thing
doesn't.
that happens.
Well, except for she doesn't need to Ponfar because she's not an actual Vulcan.
True.
Yeah, but she would have been around people who were like going through it.
Well, yeah, but they wouldn't
Ma-
actually.
what they
Did
wouldn't
you-
they wouldn't force themselves on her, saying like,
Do you remember
"You
what
must be
happened
my
to
pawn."
Spock? Dude was crazed.
Yes,
okay?
but he was legitimately
I'm
Vulcan.
just saying, if you're around people like that,
No, Burnham goes the fuck home or stays outside. No.
I don't know. We don't know her
No,
backstory.
I don't think.
I just don't think we
that
should
ever
infer. Is all I'm
happened.
saying. I don't think we should infer.
Listen, I don't think she's having to be subjugated to someone else's fucking
I'm-
Ponthar just to keep
I'm
them
just
from.
throwing it out there as an option. I'm
losing
not
their
saying it
minds.
happened. I'm just saying that I don't feel like we should just assume that like Senor I have no jawline was the first person she hooked up with.
Well, that was her first kiss, as far as we've been told.
Oh, that's true. They did say that.
So
Yeah,
and-
so,
and
I'm
that,
guessing.
Okay,
then.
I guess so.
yeah.
I think it's a safe assumption.
Unless we're following junior high school
I take it
logic, in
back.
which case no one kisses, but they do all a bunch of other stuff. No,
Well,
I
they
think- I
obviously
think
hook up
she's-
because we see in the flash
yeah.
to the next episode, there's like a full scene of them not wearing any clothes.
essentially, yeah. So
I don't know what
yeah.
else they'd be doing.
So Vok, undercover Vok, became the undercover cop.
So they hollowed out his bones to imprint a new personality.
That's fucking violent as hell. Okay.
Or something like they managed to imprint a new personality. They did a lot.
Makes no sense.
They did a lot of like major reconstruction. But the thing about it
Yeah.
is that like his DNA would still show up as Klingon. Like they didn't do a DNA scan on him. Like if they did like a full medical scan of him, wouldn't it show up? It's like, you're showing up as Klingon. It's like, well, I was banging a Klingon pretty regularly.
Got DNA all
He
over
also
me.
would have been in therapy because he was a POW for how long? Like months?
Well, that's brought up by Admiral. I should be on the ship, but fuck it, we're not addressing that.
right? I've just mysteriously vanished, even though I'm actually on the ship.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Unless we were just too drunk to miss the part where she left the ship.
No, I don't remember her leaving the ship. Like I don't think that they loaded her onto a ship. They're about ready to jump to a starbase. Why would they? You know, it's like, hey, let's pack her off to a shuttle to go to the same starbase
Look,
that we're
they do a
already
lot
going
of
to.
unnecessary shuttle travel.
Well, that is in a lot of ways true. Yes,
It's possible.
I guess so. I think that they're just really hoping we're gonna forget that.
I feel like they do that with a lot of the plot on the show.
Yeah, which I'm gonna go ahead and say Tyler ended up being Vok. Like that was, I think we called it the first time we saw, like, or I called it, or like the
Somebody
first time we
called
saw it.
it.
Yeah, the first time we saw Tyler in the episode, we was like that. Yeah, that's Vok, and I'm almost certain that the internet also said, yeah, that's Vok. It was so
Well, it's because
blatantly set up.
well, the
like
biggest-
not even.
yeah, the biggest issue was that we couldn't believe the fact that a human Starfleet Federation officer was being held captive all these months without any.
Well, and he
Visible
wasn't
signs
even a
of
senior
torture.
officer.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, they would have done the worst to him because that he was captive and a waste of their time because he knew nothing. So we're just going to torture you for the fuck of it. There really was no sign of torture on him. So what else could there be?
And I mean, if he was a badass, I could understand Klingon lady deciding it's like you. Maybe, just maybe, if he was a badass, even if he was a prisoner, I could understand that. But he was still,
Well, if she had her,
chinless
if she had
loser.
her eye out for somebody who she's gonna implant this dude on, then sure. I mean, we already know that she likes. I mean, she's got bad taste in guys,
Well, yeah, no, that's been established.
so maybe that's why she had a thing for him. I don't know. She did like the albino dude, and he was kind of a weenie too.
Well, we're saying that the albino dude and Tyler are the same person.
Right. So
And-
then it makes
yeah, that's
perfect
true.
sense.
That is true, but that's like she tries
So
to.
their connection is the fact that they both are outsiders. That's what their connection is.
Sure.
That's what the show's positing, is the fact that because Vox is an outsider, she is an outsider because of what happened in the pilot in the two-parter,
How is she supposed to know that Tyler was an outsider, though?
because of his
He
torture.
seems fairly popular and well
because
liked.
of his torture. I mean,
Yeah, but she was the
obviously.
one that captured him and tortured him.
But I think you mean the Klingon or Michael?
The Klingon. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? I'm
Did we
talking-
just what the fuck just happened? All right, no. Okay, we know that Vok is Tyler, and the
at least
Klingon,
by all evidence right
Yeah.
now to suggest that? Yeah.
and Klingon lady who tried to Manchurian candidate him back to Vokness
Right.
was his lady friend on Takuvma's ship,
Right.
who ended up falling in love with him, and then apparently took him
Body morphed him with
yeah,
Tyler.
somewhere else and turned him into Tyler.
Yep.
And then started banging him, possibly while he was all humany. I don't know.
Question
Or
mark? We don't
before
know.
that, yeah. It's all very not clear on that, but I don't necessarily know if that part needs to be clear. But
I don't think any of it's clear.
you don't think? Okay.
No, I think they're just assuming we'll just go along with it.
I know. Well, they're not 100% wrong because I just shrugged and went with it.
We are still watching.
That is true, which I don't know if
Details.
which is more our fault than theirs.
It's true. Also true.
So yeah, like now that we're going about it, like really not a lot of substance happened this episode.
Very little happened this
It was
episode.
a lot of fluff.
Mhm.
I mean, there was some. I honestly thought that Tilly becoming a badass was kind of
I enjoyed it.
fun, but
I enjoyed
fluffy.
that. No, I enjoyed that. Yeah, I enjoyed watching the actors kind of get a chance to play a little bit.
The really weird character development hair, which nobody's mentioned. But she did, in fact, have character development hair.
Well, she literally did have character development hair, but it was more like playing the role hair.
Yeah.
As opposed to full-on character development hair. It's kind of like if we come back and she's keeping the blonde hair, then I think that would be character development hair to like
Yes.
signify that she has changed.
She's got a really difficult to maintain hairstyle, too. Like, there's some odd angles cut in. I feel like she'd have to get a trim every day. I don't know.
Well, especially like I think that her natural hair, like her natural curly hair, is almost as long as her blonde hair currently is. And correct me if I'm wrong. When you straighten out curly hair, it ends up being longer than what it was.
That would
So-
be correct.
So she somehow, despite starting with curly hair, ends up with straight hair that's the exact same length, roughly.
Yes.
That's what happened.
Character development wig.
Yeah, it was character development wig.
So we're going to have a great wig reveal scene later.
Not
I-
like
I mean-
nah, I wouldn't say so.
I mean, great is a relative term.
I mean, there's just so much other stuff wrong with this episode.
Let's just start listing it out because we know who to blame for this. We're gonna blame Jonathan Franks.
No,
so
we're not.
Oh, come on! No, you cannot. No, seriously.
Look,
What- no,
there's
he-
only so much you can
he
do to dress
had
up a pile of
The
shit.
script put in front of him. He knocked it out the best way he knew how as a director. That's what you do. That's what he did. He delivered on that respect. I mean, that's everything else is just it is what it is.
I will say I was kind of hoping for like a nice mid-season. Oh, we fucked up. Here's the show you actually wanted. Kind of reboot.
That's what we were theorizing that
Yeah.
that's what's going to happen.
It's what we wanted. It's not what we got.
they're still continuing on with much of the same show, but it's better than what they initially introduced. I mean, they're
Is
kind
it?
of in
Yes.
a lot of ways. Yeah, it's at least more watchable.
Yeah, no, it's you've now had time to have the characters get up under your skin, so now you are invested in all of these machinations and what's going on. I mean, once again, the fucking doctor, ladies and gentlemen, the doctor, people, what the fuck was the doctor was helping people. got his neck
which
snapped.
is why he had to die.
Holy shit.
Well, not only
The
that,
doctor.
I think they had to make room for another speaking role character. It's like, okay, we can only have like maybe 5-ish speaking role people, and so one of them has to go. So they murdered the doctor so they could make room for somebody else. Who are you guys calling? Are we calling Robot Girl? Are we calling redhead with cybernetic implants? Are we
I think we're gonna get a completely new character.
Are
Yeah,
you
my
starting
money would go on
because
that.
I mean, I don't know. I could go with Dred's Mohawk Girl.
No, I think somebody from Mirrorverse is gonna come back with them.
Yeah, I would say so.
And just like hide amongst the crew, and then eventually they're gonna.
No, I think they're
find
gonna
them?
know about it.
Either hide amongst the crew or have them brought back and put in the brig as proof that, see, we did some like really foul, weird shit, and here's the result.
I mean, I don't know. I have no idea what's gonna happen.
My main question though is okay. So apparently there is a mirror universe Discovery,
Right.
but this Discovery was built and designed and predicated upon using the spore drive.
The Mirror Universe one or ours?
No, regular universe one. But the mirror universe one, I don't know if it has a spore drive. I would, for whatever reason, I'm assuming that it doesn't. Because if it did exist in the mirror universe, whoever captained that ship would just straight up do a Hoshisato and say, "Hey, guess what? I'm Emperor, assholes."
Yeah, well, and to be true, they also didn't talk about the fact that the Mirror Universe Discovery did go to their universe.
Well, they did address that and then very quickly swept that under the rug. They were just like, "Hey, that happened. We're gonna really ignore that."
Yeah. I mean, once again, I feel like it's just failed execution of what could have been a really interesting.
So how do you think this should be fixed?
Like the entire series or just the episode?
Just this
Let's
episode.
start with the episode.
just
How
the
about that?
episode,
That's
yeah.
what.
I mean, obviously, her bringing Lorca back was a bad idea. Being like, this is the reason I was gone. Leaving him to be tortured was a terrible idea. Hooking up with her boyfriend instead of actually getting the information they needed was a bad idea. Not staying in orbit around the Discovery and warping off somewhere else is a bad idea, because now they're completely distant from the Discovery.
Yeah, I wondered what the whole point was. Hey, we're gonna beam over there. We're gonna do this, and then we're gonna beam out, and then they like really abandoned that real fast.
Yeah. So nobody here can follow the plan. They murdered the doctor. They've got.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering what the Discovery is doing, because it just like stayed there, it didn't warp with them.
It
was
ain't
just
going
like,
nowhere now.
yeah, it was just like sitting there going, hey guys,
Yeah.
guys, did that just, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, like, are they following? Or are they, like, we don't know what's going on there.
So there's,
You'd think the priority would have been, like, figuring a way to get back to the original universe.
Yeah.
which admittedly was like what they set up to do, and then they're just like, hey, we can't actually leave the mirror universe this quickly, which they weren't going to anyway. I don't know what they would have found out about the Defiant that would have helped them actually get back to their universe. I think the only way that they're gonna really be able to do that is they're gonna have to strap Anthony Rapp back to the machine and go and zap him until we're back.
And he's just completely fried at this point.
Well, at this point, he's literally seeing other dimensions and what's to come. That's what he's seeing right now.
Which, I mean, they kind of hinted at, so at least that's one consistency in the storytelling.
Yeah.
I don't know. That could also be just Anthony Rapp's ability to play that.
Also true.
Yes. Obviously the episode's breaking new ground, going into a new territory where the stakes have gotten higher and the stakes have changed. I think it remains to be seen. I think this is the longest time I've seen a show spent in the mirror, the dark mirror, the mirror universe, the mirror Star Trek, the mirror fleet. I'm curious to see what they end up doing with it, because that's where you could have your opportunity to fix things a bit, or just take things in just a purposefully darker tone that could really
Well, yeah, but I
revitalize
feel like that
some
would
of the
have only
storylines.
made sense if they would have done this in like the second episode or like the pilot episode or something like that would have been the jumping off point for the series.
Right.
Which that would have been really interesting.
Yes,
I
it
mean-
would have.
But like, even then, like, I don't know what they're like. Really, what they're doing? They're kind of like going, "Oh, woe is us, we're trapped here," and it's like you're kind of not nearly as hard as you want us to believe you are. Like, there's not enough reason for why Burnham and boyfriend are hooking up in her captain's room while Lorca is being tortured, even though she left specific instructions for him to not be tortured.
Right.
I mean,
There's-
most of the crew is dickbags.
True.
Well, no, they did say that they were going to torture him, though. They just said that they weren't going to kill him.
Right. And also, too, I think Burnham said it's for Tyler to stay with them.
Which she did. Which she stopped caring about as soon as he showed up in her room.
And apparently she stopped caring about.
Yeah.
Though, to be perfectly honest, not giving a fuck about Lorca is something that I can understand.
I mean, it's not so much him that they should be caring about. It's the
mission.
entire objective
The
for why
mission.
they're there.
Mission
mean-
comes first.
I mean, totally yes, but I don't know. At the same time, I'm like, like seeing Lorca in there getting tortured was less of a, oh my god, look how deep we're in, and more of a, hey, jackholes, what? Maybe you should be doing a thing.
Right? Like, hey, remember the whole reason you're here?
That they don't.
They definitely don't. I mean,
There is an objective, and that's to find the blueprints of the Defiant.
Apparently, it's also to fuck each other. I don't know. I mean,
oh,
you could
yeah,
do that.
love.
You could do that on the Discovery.
You could
the
once
re-
you're back to safety.
The realization, though, that Tyler may be Vok is I
just
think
saying,
is definitely the highlight for me.
I feel like there's
in this
going to be some
episode.
regret in Burnham's future when she figures out what's wrong with him. There's going to be that
Oh
whole like
no, it's gonna be
my only boyfriend was super fucked up kind of thing she's
it's
going to
gonna
go
be lots
through.
of puking space.
She's
letting
going to
it just
actually
float
need
there.
therapy after this.
Do all women go through that? Is there always like the one boyfriend that you're just like, oh my god, why did that?
Yeah. Everybody has one. At least.
Well,
Yeah. Yeah, no, I can. Yeah.
yeah, it's the argument.
It's like suddenly we're all mentally going through.
You're just like going through the catalog like, no, yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Oh.
Yeah, I can see that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, no, I got more than one shit.
Okay.
I make a lot of bad decisions.
Just we can't help it. That's
It
it's
happens to the best of
only
us.
human after all.
Yeah, this is gonna. I think this is gonna end up being almost being a short episode. We're at 35 minutes. Normally we got a lot more to talk about, but I think like it's because usually a lot more happens. Like other than going to the mirror universe, that there's not a whole lot that truly occurs that I think is like of note. Like even Burnham killing that dude wasn't.
Yeah, it didn't really have an impact.
Yeah, like or wasn't
Like
enough
we were
of a
supposed
thing.
to we were supposed to feel something because he was an ensign on the Shinjo previously. She quote watched him die.
Yeah, well, he died of her actions before, and now he died of her actions yet again.
Yeah,
And
and
there
we were supposed to have felt something. And,
And there could have been more to it, like a hesitation before she shanked him, but there wasn't anything, like just something where, like could have been a moment where she was going to, and then didn't, and then he tried to capitalize on it, and then she managed to kill him, or somebody else got the upper hand, or something.
I think
It's a lot. I don't know.
I think those were some of the choices that were made, rather than her hesitating when we see the knife, where we're focusing on her face and then the shock and the horror on her face. So we do get that, and it's very palpable, and we can definitely see it and see the terrorized realization of what she's done and then what she has to
Yeah, but she
switch up
shouldn't
to.
be terrorized because she's killed thousands of people already.
No, absolutely, but it still
But
holds
not
a
like
guilt
conscious-
from her.
not
yeah,
like-
that's
not
still
like-
weighs on her conscience.
Like, not like personally, not with her own hands, more
Yeah,
like...
she killed all those Klingons. Like,
Well, they're Klingons, fuck them.
oh right, I
I
forgot.
think it was more specified
mean,
to the fact
my
that it was
bad.
one of her teammates, one of her crewmates that she used to work with, and I think that hit everything home pretty hard.
Also, we're talking about STD Klingons, fuck 'em.
Right. Yeah, they.
True.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but they did some redesign on the Klingons this episode.
Well, how she has the longer head?
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I did
she has
notice
full
that.
on like Kingdom of the Crystal Skull like oblong head going on.
They should have just let the Klingons keep their goddamn hair.
They're turning them into some weird like Area 51 stereotype of aliens.
Quick will not let the hair go.
No, because the hair's fucking amazing. I don't think you
Klingons
understand.
had fabulous hair, Greg.
No,
Fabulous.
I've seen their manes, laying so elegantly across their battle armor. I know.
Yeah, it was part of the look.
I think.
And now we've got like these weird alien heads.
Also with the prosthetic nipples,
Oh Jesus!
as we saw in previous episodes. Oh God, the
And in the
prosthetic nipples.
flashbacks. And
Yeah.
like I just have lots of questions and none of them were answered. And now I have more questions.
I don't know where they're going. I am kind of interested to see just cause I don't even fucking know. At least they're doing something different. They never, you know what? I could have let the Klingon Federation war go if they really explored it, but they never really did. They really half-heartedly
No,
did.
they haven't really explored anything.
If this is a part of a particular canon of continuity between shows, this could also be a way for them to be trapped in this universe, and have Starfleet in their universe write them off to say, it disappeared, which wouldn't have that harsh of a bearing for
But
any
the other
series.
Discovery already showed up in our universe.
And it's gonna get pretty immediately blowed up. I mean, I don't think it has
Is
the
it?
spore drive. Well, I'm assuming it doesn't have its own spore drive.
But how would they know? Nobody in the show uses their sensors.
Well, yeah, that's true. But as soon as they try to attack a Federation ship, the Federation.
Yeah, but you
will
missed the
like-
fact where they were able to change the Discovery's entire warp signature in a matter of seconds from the bridge.
I was really ignoring that
Yes.
because it didn't make any sense. Well, they tried to change their quantum signature. That was their problem. They wanted to change their quantum signature, but I can't think of a reason why any ship would actually scan for the quantum signature.
We're
Unless they
also
were
still
super
trying to discover
suspicious,
why
yeah.
that random ship had so much information about them.
Well, that was. I mean, I hate to say,
Convenient.
it was convenient, but I mean, there was no opportunity to show visuals to really back that up. I mean, I would have loved to have the opportunity to really jam pack this episode with the actual visual cues to see, the rise of the Empire, and then how they decided to, go into space they decided to go into space as conquerors, not as questioned people, not as people looking for enlightenment. They're going to take over.
Well, they did show and explore that in Enterprise, which yet again now they're keeping continuity, and they're like, they've thumbed their nose at so much Star Trek that they're like, no, we're gonna respect the Enterprise continuity, which I guess at the end of the day could be Jonathan Frakes' influence, because he directed a lot of Enterprise. Did he direct a lot of Enterprise?
I can check. Hang on a second. Double check.
He's
the
directed a lot of all
Let
of
me
this.
Yeah, I know LeVar Burton directed a lot of Enterprise.
He Jonathan Frakes did Deep Space Nine, and he did Next Generation, and he did Enterprise.
as well as First Contact as well.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah.
Let's see. As director,
Which was great.
it was actually pretty good.
First Contact was actually a lot of fun. I think that's one of the one other than like them deciding to graft organic things onto Data, which didn't make sense to me.
But it did make sense.
Because
they're trying to convince him that they could give him all the things that they wanted, so they could use him to break the code, so they could actually take over the Enterprise.
Just so you guys,
Okay,
but
yeah,
just
never
so you guys know, you gotta love a guy who's double dipping. He also directed an episode of The Orville. So as far as the Star Trek universe goes, which at this point I can easily say,
Jonathan Frakes basically has his fingers in all the pots.
That's right.
I mean,
all the pies. Let's see.
If we do, I know we were talking about potentially like we should rewatch all the other Star Treks and do a show about that. Now I'm thinking it's like, should we do one about the Orville and be like, guys, why isn't this called a Star Trek?
So he definitely did Resurrection. He did
Because-
First Contact. He did 3 episodes of Voyager. He did 3 episodes of Deep Space Nine, and he did 8 episodes of The Next Generation.
There you go.
Okay, so I don't know why he's just like, hey guys, we really got to keep continuity with Enterprise, because I mean,
Again, I feel like it's going back to a deeper layer than that.
Yeah, I mean, Frakes is all about that work. He's not about trying to figure out the writing. He's like, no, I know what you guys did. I'm about that work. I'm like, let's make this
It is what it is.
a watchable show.
Let's at
yeah,
least
he's
make
not.
the episode watchable.
Yeah, he's not trying to like, oh, let's change this and let's deconstruct and let's fix. No,
Because
no.
I mean,
no, he's about
it's
that
the
work.
thing with like TV though. TV directors have very little pull in terms of what the show actually looks like, how the show actually turns out.
Their job is to bring what they do best, which is direct, and their job is to keep the speeding train running.
Yeah,
you know,
the writers and the producers are the ones in TV have all the creative control.
Yeah, I mean, the better the director, the more they get asked back, which is why oftentimes, for a TV show, you'll see a director on a show multiple times. Barring the schedule allows it, but it's their job to really keep things smooth because there really is no time on a TV schedule to take too many creative risks that may delay production.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is supposed to be the first, episode back from like a huge break. You just kind of expect that at this point they'll have taken the time to kind of look at the other episodes, see what's working, what's not working. Especially with a huge jump like that, they had a huge opportunity to kind of revamp everything.
It does feel a bit twisted, though. It does feel a bit twisted. I mean, I can't speak for everybody else, but it does feel a bit twisted for Burnham in the sense that from episode 1, all she's wanted to be is captain. Now she is captain, but in a fucked up universe.
Which we might care about had there been any solid writing between then and now.
well, I mean, we got the one episode.
We did get the one episode.
And we got the sweet episode between the captain and Burnham before she was impaled. There was heart there.
Megan's not counting it. Megan is.
I take Bacon's silence as a no.
I don't count any of that.
You should have seen her look. It could only be described as curmudgeonly.
Yeah, it was very Scrooge like.
There's one episode, which was anywhere near good, and it was a pocket episode. Like,
let's see. Yeah,
that's all I got.
That's about
All right. Well, if you guys want to have we're gonna actually we're double episoding this. We're about ready to go into the next one. Does anybody have any closing thoughts? I mean, we all just saw like the preview for the next episode, and all I can say is like it seems like they're not really correcting anything.
Double your discovery,
They're just-
double your fun.
It doesn't feel like they're correcting anything.
Well, let's. I guess we're gonna have to see how that all turns out. So. We're gonna get back onto we're gonna get back onto these mics here in about another 40 minutes. We'll
which for you at home will be next week.
Yep, it's gonna be a longer time for you guys. So let's keep it on.